Where are you?
Still at Park MGM.
I'm here in front of the poker room at the Venetian. You need to get your butt over here.
No, I'm not doing the vlog till later. I already told you that.
Babe, I wouldn't be calling you if this wasn't important. Get your ass over here now.
Not again. Only 1-2. $3.69. I'm not that thirsty. What is the issue?
Oh, I don't know what to get. Do I want the little one or the big one or both?
Oh. All right, well, we ran our ass down here. Might as well jump in the game here and see how it is. For vlog 290, we aren't buying any Louis Vuitton, but we are playing some 3-5 no limit hold'em. It hasn't been long since the Venetian moved its poker room from this spot on the main casino floor to the second floor near the Grand Canal shops away from the action. And that part, in a general sense, I like. Resorts World does a similar thing. Generally, poker players don't gamble much in the casino, so it makes sense to put them in other areas. But I gotta say, there was just something about that old poker room at the Venetian that I liked. I know there are obvious things about the casino's history with poker to dislike, but there was just something about that room. It also had way better chairs, as the ones that they now have in place don't lock in, so when you lean back in them, you always just fall way farther back than you want to be, and I find that to be an unforced error on their part. Chips are the same, cards are the same, the quality coffee machines remain in place, but there are some differences, as you'll see, including the felt now being blue. And get this, you guys. This poker room is open 24/7, baby. That's just phenomenal. I mean, I really, honestly, I hate it when the Peppermill closes its doors at 9 p.m. It's just really aggravating. I'd sit down in a 3-5 game on table 39, and PLO double-board bomb pots were in effect every half hour. Is there anywhere you can go to avoid bomb pots these days? It seems like it's getting hard. I wasn't sure about rolling video, and if anyone would know or care. But given the fact that the room seems to really embrace streaming, as this sign would indicate, and given the fact that they are even hosting a meetup game with somebody named Donk Fish Poker, I gotta believe that they'll embrace this. I mean, look, I am not familiar with the work of Mr. Fish, but if they'll promote guys like him, I have to believe that they will embrace me doing a vlog here. First hand would come when we get a limp under the gun, and then a raise to 20 in the hijack. I am on the button with ace deuce of diamonds and make the call. The small blind on my immediate left announces raise. So I'm probably going to be going out here, one would think. But he says he is only raising to 40. Don't see that one often. So after the under the gun limper calls and the hijack also puts in those chips, I'm sticking around here with my suited ace. And with 160 in, the board comes out king, king, 8, 2 diamonds, giving me the nut flush draw. And to my surprise, none of these guys bet. So I had just sat down. We got a paired board. I don't know how anyone plays. As I've said before, slow playing is more common than bluffing in games like this. I didn't want to step in it in the wrong spot early on. So I would just check. But when I would see the turn, I'd certainly wish I'd bet as the 6 of diamonds peels off the deck. Checks to me again. And looking to get value here, I figured from hands like pocket 9s with the 9 of diamonds, pocket 10s with the 10 of diamonds, I figured I'd bet out fairly small. I make it 60, hoping they'll put me on just the ace. Small blind folds, under the gun calls, and the hijack also goes out. So with 280 in, I'm hoping for a blank on the river, and the biggest one in the deck rolls off with the deuce of clubs coming. Under the gun would bet out at this. That's the good news. Bad news is he only bets $30 here. The quintessential block bet. Now, of course, the thing about block bets is people are trying to get to a cheap showdown, but they still will call your raise a lot of the time. Unfortunately, this wasn't one of those times, as I'd make it 150, and he snap folds immediately. So, I would make an ace-high flush on the first hand I'd ever play at the new Venetian poker room, and I would just hope that that was not some sort of bad omen like we saw on a recent vlog. So I'd win that hand, and it became clear after another half hour which players I should give action to and which I shouldn't. By the way, what is the deal with these European guys in particular, even though a lot of American guys do it too, with the fanny pack over the shoulder look? I'm just asking the questions here. Oh, and by the way, when I'm talking about the new things that you will find at this poker room at the Venetian, one of those things has to be pointed out. Look at this. The ineligible sign where they would take out the jackpot drop. You gotta love this. The Venetian may have a new customer in bendeach. I'm not gonna lie to you. I have been asking for this for years in our game in Reno, citing the fact that no one gives a damn about these ridiculous bonus drops, and all of us lose $2 at a time to it, but most places still opt to go with them, and apparently at the Venetian, the other games have it, but the bigger games don't, and I think that is a perfectly fine solution. As I always say, just say no to the bonus drop dog and pony show. I look down at Queen Jack of Spades, middle position 1, and make it 15. Not sure why I didn't make it more than that, but that's what I did here. 4 players ultimately call, and with 75 in the pot, the flop is King Jack 10 with 1 spade. Check to me, and I just checked this one back here with middle pair. Low Jack bets out for 65. He is one of the guys that I kind of felt I should be giving action to, as he's clearly not a pro. Doesn't mean he's not good, but he is wearing a badge from the convention and talking business with the guy next to him. So, probably some loose money you would hope. Cutoff calls the 65. So, it's now on me, and I don't love this. It's going to be hard to get paid on a straight if I do hit it, but given the fact that I have those backdoor spades to go along with this, kept me in this pot. So with 270 in, nothing good would happen from there, as the turn was the 6 of clubs. And the low jack would just jam all in for his last $400 here, and he would be the winner of that particular pot. I would seat change for better filming, with the first hand that I would play being pocket 7s. Unfortunately, I would swing and miss and lose to a guy who flopped a pair of 10s in that pot. And 5 minutes later, we'd get another PLO double board bomb pot. And it's worth pointing out, for those of you who love those, they do have a game at this poker room that is nothing but PLO double board bomb pots. I remember saying that when they first started to certain guys back in Reno who always talked about how much they loved them. I said, why don't you guys just go spread a game with nothing but those and leave the rest of us to play the game the way it's meant to be played, damn it. No, they didn't take my advice. But apparently that game exists here. We did get a pair of limps, and when I would raise to 30 with King 9 of hearts on the button, they'd all fold. The way I see it, limping is not pimping. But that didn't stop two guys from limping in here. And I would look down at ace 10 of clubs in the small blind and would raise to 30. 3 players, including the 2 limpers, would make this call. And with 120 in, the flop would come out 8-9 deuce, 2 clubs, nut flush draw once again. Check to me, and looking to just take this pot down now, I bet 75. Big blind folds, but the low jack isn't going anywhere. Turn is an offsuit queen, and, as it would turn out, had me covered, with 2 $500 chips perfectly obscured from view. So, Jack 10 is now there. If he has a lower draw, I don't want to lose him. And the question I didn't know the answer to was, would he fold a lot of his one pair hands? So after giving this some thought, I figured the play was just to check call him here. And he does bet and makes it extraordinarily affordable, just tossing in 50. So I make that call, with the river coming in offsuit 4. So I swing and miss at everything. I do not bluff here, and he wins with King 8 offsuit in a hand that is not going to go on my highlight reel. This is a mid-session update. The next vlog is going to be shot poker-wise in Reno, but there is one location in this country, and it's about a 6-hour drive outside of Vegas, that I have always wanted to visit. And I'm going to go there tomorrow. And you're going to see it next time on this vlog. And I, for one, am fired up. Where is my freedom? Also, in addition to what I just teased for the next vlog, this trip, as all of my Vegas trips are now, was timed around Golden Knights hockey, sitting in the friendly confines of Section 6, thanks to the continued generosity of Scott Bean. This was the second straight year I'd see the Golden Knights play the Edmonton Oilers, and unfortunately for Connor McDavid and company, it was the second straight time I'd see Vegas beat them. A 1-0 game with 0 penalties called. I know not all of you are hockey fans, but it was the first game in the Golden Knights' brief but now 659 game history in which there was not a single penalty called on either team. And get this, it was only the 5th time in NHL history that a game has had no penalties and ended by a score of 1-0. Also, can I just say, because in this trip I stayed at Park MGM, as you already know, when you don't have to get into a car and sit in traffic after a game, you can just walk across the street to your hotel room. That is an unbelievable feeling, and I would highly recommend it. I'd pick up pocket aces against that same player that we saw in the previous hand in this next one, opening under the gun to 20. Same guy as before, 3 bets to 75. Folds back to me, and obviously we're going north once again here. I 4-bet him to 165. And he doesn't waste any time making the call. So at 350 in, the board is 7-8-9 with 2 clubs. I bet 175 here, and he thinks about this for a long time. And it certainly felt like he might also have an overpair here, but he ultimately tosses his cards into the muck. The next hand would come against that same gentleman, who limps, as does one other. I have ace queen of diamonds in the hijack and make it 30. Same guy calls under the gun. He's been the guy giving me all the action in this game. And middle position also comes in. So with $90 in, the flop is ace 9-9, 2 hearts. Check to me, and I would just bet 60 here. Under the gun calls. MP folds. So with 210 in, the turn's an offsuit 3. Pretty good card for me. I bet 100. And once again, he check calls me. With 410 in there, the river is an offsuit 4. So if he has a draw, he's missed. If he's slow playing a 9, obviously I'm beat. But that is just a risk that I am going to have to take here, because I'm certainly making a value bet here, wanting to make sure his weaker aces will at least consider this. So I just bet 125. He doesn't think long at all and calls. He would show his hand, despite the fact that he isn't the one that's going to be winning, tabling ace 8, and a $660 pot gets shipped over to me. I'd play for about another hour, probably only about 50 minutes after that last hand without any real hands of note, though I did lose probably about $60 or $70 c-betting several hands when I missed and getting called and then shutting it down. So, it wouldn't be a huge win, and it wouldn't be the longest session, but my first time at the new Venetian poker room was a profitable experience. All right, not the longest session I've ever played, but a profitable one nonetheless. Hooking exactly a $400 win in my first time here at the new Venetian room. Also, my knee kind of hurts.